Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, my name is Blair. For today's video, we're doing something really fun. I am doing a full face of my most expensive makeup. I thought this would be really fun. I've never used all of these products together to make a full face. I don't have a huge collection of super bougie products, but I have a good bit. So I figured we would just do a full face, and this is the look that I came up with. If you're interested in this video and how I got this look, please keep watching. Please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and let's go ahead and get started. First, gonna go in with my NARS Tinted Smudge Proof eyeshadow base in the shade Light. And this is gonna be our eye primer. Before I start on the eyeshadow, I'm gonna fill in my brows quickly. I feel like I'm not going to be able to do the eyeshadow if I don't go ahead and fill in my eyebrows. So this is not anything new, but I'm going to use my Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Soft Brown. I don't really switch up my eyebrow products, like ever. I always go back to the Brow Wiz when I do. It's just my favorite. For eyeshadow today, we are using the beautiful Natasha Denona Biba palette. This is most definitely my most expensive eyeshadow palette, but I love it. It is a neutral lover's dream. I love it so much, but I don't use it as much as I should, mainly because it's so expensive. I don't know. I have a habit of doing that with my more expensive products. I won't use them just because they're more expensive. I don't know why. So we're going to use this today. I'm first going to go in with this shade right here called Tusk. And we're just going to lightly put this all over the lid where we put that primer. I am doing eyes first today because I'm going to use some darker shadow, and I don't want it to get all over my face. Although these Natasha shadows a lot of times don't have much fallout. But just to be safe, I'm going to do my eyes first. Next, I'm going in with this shade right here. This is called Freckle. It's a really warm brown, kind of a camel color. And I'm just using this Morphe M504 brush. It's a really big, fluffy blending brush. And we're just gonna lightly sweep this through the crease. So I've actually already filmed this video, but when I went back and watched the clips through, the lighting just wasn't good in it, and I just couldn't make it work, so I'm refilming it. Hopefully my makeup turns out how it did in that video, because I really liked how my eyes turned out. So I'm going to try to do the same thing I did before, but we will see how it goes. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Buff right here. It's kind of more of a pinky, taupey kind of color. Or no, it's like a salmon kind of color. And I'm using my Morphe M505 to apply this. This is a little bit smaller than that first brush we used, the 504. And for this, I'm just going to go lightly over where we put that transition shade, just to add a little bit of this pinky brown. I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while. I don't have the biggest collection of really expensive makeup, but I do have some more expensive items, and I've never used them all at once before, so I thought this would be kind of a fun video just to see how these products work together, because they are very pricey. So hopefully you guys like this video. Now I'm going to go back in with Tusk again with that first brush that we used. And we're just going to go over where we just placed those two colors. This is a really good tip. If you ever apply eyeshadow and you feel like you want to tone it down a little, or you just want to kind of diffuse the colors together a little bit more, you can use whatever the closest to your skin tone is, usually like the first shade that you use, and go over everything with a really big blending brush, and usually that will just kind of diffuse the colors and really meld everything together. So keep that in mind when you're applying your eyeshadow. Now we're going to go into probably one of my favorite shades in this palette. It's this really beautiful chocolatey brown called Cocoa. I'm going to take that shade on a MAC 217, and this is where we're going to start to build up the depth in the outer V. Basically just tapping this color at the outer V and lightly kind of pulling it up into the crease. Not all the way, just like a little less than halfway through the crease. This is a really great brush for that step. Because it's kind of flat, you can not only like place your color right where you want it, but you can kind of turn it on its side and really blend into the crease as well. So I really like this 217 from MAC. Now I'm going back in with Freckle again, and we're gonna blend a little bit more just to make sure that cocoa shade is nice and blended in. Now I'm going to go in with this shade. It's a really pretty golden bronze, kind of a chocolatey bronze, and I'm actually going to use my finger to apply this shade. So I'm going to go in with my ring finger, but look how pretty this shade is. Oh, so pretty. You can apply this obviously with a brush too. I just find that a lot of these shimmer shades from this palette just apply better for me with my finger. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to place this on the lid, kind of a little less than halfway of the lid, and kind of back to where we put that cocoa shade. But this shade, oh, paired with that cocoa color, that shade is so pretty. It is so beautiful. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this shade in the corner here called Shine. It's a really pretty, kind of a rose gold. And I'm going to again use my ring finger and basically apply this in the inner part of my eyelid where I didn't apply that bronzy shimmer. And now I'm going to go in with the lighter shimmer shade in the palette called Monroe right here. And this I'm actually going to take on a little brush. I'm first going to spray my brush with some MAC Fix Plus. And then I'm going to go into that Monroe shade. This one I might go back in with my finger. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm going to place this over top of the Shine shade. Look at that. Kind of carve out my eyelid a little. Now I'm going to go back in with my big blending brush and very, very lightly just go over everything. Going back in with Cocoa again one last time with my 217, and I'm just gonna further intensify this outer corner just a little bit because I do want it to be nice and chocolatey. Just like that. And then going back over that with my blending brush again. I just can't get over it. These Natasha Denona shadows, they are pricey, but this palette is worth every single penny in my opinion. I just love to play with it. I need to play with it more, but this eye look is absolutely beautiful so far. That's all I'm going to do for the eyes right now. We're going to move on to the face, and I'm first going to apply a little bit more of my Olehenriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream. I applied a little bit earlier, but I just want to make sure my under eyes are nice and moisturized before we go in with corrector and concealer. My bougiest primer, which I feel like this one, actually I have two, I guess. I have two pretty bougie primers. The first is Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter. I wear the shade number 2. This is just, I mean, there's a reason everyone talks about this. I've said this in other videos, but this product is not like anything else. It is the definition of a true lit from within kind of product. I wear the shade 2 when I don't have very much color, but then in the summertime I can typically wear shade 3. But today we're gonna use shade 2. And then the other bougie primer I have, and honestly I don't use this that much, is the Tatcha Silk Canvas. This one is actually just a little mini size, and I actually have 2 of these. I got one as a free gift one time, and then I have another one too, so I actually have 2 of them. I'm not typically the biggest fan of pore filling primers. I don't know why. I guess I just don't ever feel like I really have a huge issue with pores. But I know this is like a lot of people's holy grail primer, and I have it. And since I have it, I figured I should use it. It is very, very smoothing, so I can see why people do like it. Now we're going to go in with my most expensive corrector, which is the Magic Away from Charlotte Tilbury. This one is in number 1, Fair. And I love this. It is $32, so it is pricey. But if you have dark circles and you're looking for a corrector, this is a really good one. I mean, look at the difference between this and this. This one is in a compact, and sometimes those can be kind of drying, but this particular formula is super, super creamy. And I would definitely recommend it. Also want to make sure you get right here, like up into the tear duct, because a lot of times you do have darkness right in here. I'm now just going to take my ring finger and just lightly, very, very lightly pat this in. Now I'm going in with my Urban Decay Naked Skin in the yellow shade. And this is just going to help neutralize the bit of redness I have on my cheek area before we go in with foundation. This is not super bougie, but it is kind of pricey. It's $29, but I love this product from Urban Decay. And I'm just blending this in with a little Real Techniques setting brush. I have found that this little brush is the best size for this step because it's basically like a, I don't know, it's just a very cute little small blending brush, but it works so well to blend in cream products. For concealer, we're going to use this one. This is definitely very bougie. It's the Dior Forever Skin Correct concealer. It's the new one from them. I love this. I wear the shade 1.5 Neutral, and this concealer, the packaging alone is just bougie. I mean, you can tell it's so nice and very weighty in your hand. I love it. But it gives great coverage. It looks really nice under the eyes. This is one of those products, it just makes me really happy just to hold this because it is just so nice. It's so heavy. It's a really large concealer. I don't know. I just really find a lot of satisfaction in using that product, so I love it. I'm going to take this Hourglass concealer brush. This is pretty new to my collection. It is very bougie. It's a very expensive brush, but I do really like it for concealer. It's a really good shape. Fits really well right under your eyes. And I basically just kind of tap it and then start to blend it in. Now I'm just gonna lightly go over everything with my damp beauty blender. For foundation, this was a pretty obvious choice. This is by far my most expensive foundation. It's the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. This is obviously a cult favorite, and I do really like this foundation. I do not use it very often because I try to only, I don't know, I try to save it and only use it for special occasions because it is so expensive. But I love it. I think it is a beautiful foundation. I never see anyone wearing this and think it doesn't look good on them. I just think it's a very universal foundation. The coverage is good, but not super full. And it's just a really great lightweight foundation. Blends in super easily. I love it. Actually, I have been trying to figure out what shade to order in the new Luminous Silk Concealer that just came out, because obviously you guys know I'm a concealer addict, so I really want to try that concealer, but I cannot figure out what shade to order it in. So I just haven't ordered it yet because I can't make up my mind. But I'm really anxious to try the Luminous Silk Concealer since I do absolutely love this foundation. Oh, another pretty bougie brush is this Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Face Brush. I absolutely love this. Probably my favorite foundation brush that I own, but it is very expensive. Now I'm just going to take my beauty blender and go over my face. I don't always set under my eyes, but I am going to today because I'm going to apply some shadow to my lower lash line. So I'm going in with this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffused Light. Again, a bougie brush. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Powder and Sculpt brush. And I'm just going under my eyes. and setting that concealer. Diffused light is more of a yellow tone, so I do like to use it under my eyes. I am going to take my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. This is very bougie. I think it's $64, but I literally use this palette all the time. You can see it is very well loved. I think this is totally worth it. So I basically just mixed a little bit of all of those powders, and I'm just kind of lightly going over my face with this. I love these powders because they do not look like powder on your skin. They just give you a beautiful, lit from within, kind of an airbrushed look. I love them. Moving on to bronzer, we have another Hourglass product. This is Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light, and this bronzer is so beautiful. This is another product I don't use, and I know why I don't use it. I don't use it because it's so expensive, and I just love knowing it's in my collection, and I don't want to use it up. But there is a ton of product in here, so I really need to stop that. This is a beautiful bronzer. You can probably tell what my favorite brands are based on this video. I love Hourglass. I love their powders. I just can't get enough. I've never tried anything like Hourglass powders. They're very unique. I love them. I'm just gonna put this everywhere. I'm putting it on my jawline, down my neck. These Hourglass bronzers, if you're interested, also do come in little baby sizes. So if you want to try them out, but you don't want to spend I think these are like $50, you can get a mini one, and I want to say they're about half the price of the large one if you don't want to splurge on the big size. For blush, I'm going in with another Hourglass product, the Ambient blush, and this one is in Luminous blush. Again, so beautiful. So it's blush in the form of the Ambient powders, which truly doesn't get any better. One of the things I love about these Hourglass blushes is that they're very sheer, so you can build them up or you can leave them very sheer if you like more of a sheer blush look. I know some people don't like heavy blush and some people do, so these Hourglass blushes are really versatile. We're gonna go back and finish the lower lash line now. I'm going back into Freckle right here. So that very first transition shade that we used. And I'm just gonna run this along my lower lash line very lightly. Now I'm gonna take Cocoa, the really beautiful brown we used. This that I'm using, by the way, is a Morphe E36 brush. And for this shade, I'm really only going to take it kind of halfway on the lower lash line and then kind of flick it up to connect where we had that shade in the outer V. Just like that. So pretty. And I think that's all I'm going to do for the lower lash line. I don't typically love to do a ton of stuff on my lower lash line. I just like to lightly kind of define it, but nothing super crazy. I am now going to take my Charlotte Tilbury, what is this? Rockin' Kohl liquid eye pencil in Barbarella Brown. And for this, I really like to use this in my waterline. So I'm just going to use this to tightline. This is one of the only pencils I've found that will stay in my waterline and it doesn't just wear off. So that is all we're going to do for the eyes. Obviously, this is not an everyday eye look for me, but I just wanted to do something different. And if you've been on the fence about this Natasha Denona palette, I would recommend it. I know it's expensive. I would wait until there's a Sephora sale to buy it. That's when I got mine. But if you are wanting to splurge on something, I would highly recommend that palette. Now I'm just curling my lashes. This is also a very bougie lash curler. It's the Surratt lash curler. I've been using this for years now. And it is expensive, but I truly have not found an eyelash curler that works as well for me as this one. For mascara, I'm going to use my Chanel Volume de Chanel mascara. I actually kind of forgot that I bought this. I got this the last time Nordstrom did their mascara madness thing that they do for like one day, where you get, if you buy 2 mascaras, you get a third one for free. I think this was the one I got for free. It is really nice. I feel like this is one of those mascaras you used to see all the time in YouTube videos, but I feel like not that many people, I don't hear many people talking about it anymore. But it's really good. It's a really nice mascara, but very, very pricey. Moving on to lips. My Charlotte Tilbury lip cheats are really my bougiest lip liners. I don't own a ton of lip liners, but the Charlotte Tilbury ones are not cheap. This is Pillow Talk. So pretty. And if I'm feeling real bougie, which obviously this is a bougie tutorial, I will take the lip cheat again in Iconic Nude. I use this usually just in the center of my bottom lip. And then I'll go over the Cupid's bow area. And then I am also going in with Charlotte Tilbury, a Hot Lips 2 lipstick from her. This is my favorite one. This is JK Magic. It's my favorite lipstick. Charlotte Tilbury's lipsticks are pricey, but these Hot Lips 2 lipsticks are a little bit more because you can buy refills for them, and they also come in this like special packaging. Also from Charlotte Tilbury, this is her Collagen Lip Bath. This is the original one, but I know they did just come out with the Pillow Talk Lip Bath, and I really want that, but I do not have that. Last but not least, we have one of the bougiest setting sprays ever, the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. Again, I do not use this often because I try to savor it, but I do really like it. And then I will just take my beauty blender and go over everything one last time. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, this is not an everyday look for me. This is if I wanted to really go all out and be bougie like I did today. I just thought it would be fun to use all of my most expensive makeup in one video. Let me know what you think of this final look in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up and go follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair. I'll see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.